But I'm going to read it, then we're going to start the movie, and then we're going to all have the best time of our lives. Then we can all go out into the patio and have a slightly less good time, but still a pretty fucking badass time. Okay, Ron Bass, the writer remembers. If you were in the audience tonight at the Silent Movie Theater waiting to see Heavenly Bodies, then you probably have some idea of what you're getting into. This is more than I could say in the early 1980s when I became involved in the movie that, to my continuing astonishment, I have not been able to shake off for 25 years. It began, as these things do, with lunch. In this case, with a Toronto actor, Larry Dane. I was a freelance magazine writer at the time with a secret yearning to write for the movies. Not so secret, actually. I confided it to Larry any number of times. As it turned out, he was an actor with aspirations to be, what else? A director. Together, the two of us collaborated on a script about a ruthless paparazzi photographer who, of course, gets mixed up with celebrity and murder. To my surprise, we almost immediately optioned the script to a young producer named Robert Lantos, recently relocated from Montreal to Toronto. Those are two cities in Canada. I remember he and his partner Stephen Roth had offices on either side of his secretary who looked wonderful in a miniskirt but could not type. In the midst of our paparazzi photographer epic, Larry started to talk about an idea he had for a movie about 3 young women trying to start up their own workout club. He had made the mistake of seeing Flashdance, a movie that had become something of a phenomenon and had been originally written by another Toronto writer, Tom Headley, a guy we both knew. I thought Larry's idea crazy. A Flashdance ripoff? Who would be interested in that? Oh my God. I was 6. I was ready. However, Larry was not to be deterred. Over lunch, he pitched the idea to Lantos. I have since sat through countless meetings and lunches with many producers, but to this day, I have never seen a producer react to a pitch quite the same way Lantos reacted to that one. It was the only time in my life when I almost literally saw the light bulb go on over somebody's head. The next thing I knew, Larry and I were writing this workout movie together. He had dubbed it Heavenly Bodies, and for better or worse, that title never changed. What's more, he had convinced Lantos to allow him to direct. I could hardly believe it was happening. Every time I turned around, Lantos seemed to be bringing in more co-producers. We met a German who adamantly demanded all the girls work out with hula hoops. That shit's ridiculous. We managed to avoid the hula hoops. Oh my God. I'm not sure how I felt about any of this other than to feel like an outsider staring in wonder at the strange scene unfolding before him. Certain of only one thing: this was never going to fucking get made. The thought filled me with as much relief as anything else. We were, after all, a bunch of guys who had never been inside a workout club, trying to make a movie about young women running a workout club. Imagine my surprise, then, to find myself in a converted warehouse full of spandex-clad women in leg warmers. Larry standing on the sidelines yelling, "Action!" Not only was Heavenly Bodies in production, but what started out as a low-budget Canadian movie began to take on big-budget trappings. Playboy was involved. And then Uber producers Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, the Flashdance boys themselves. Giorgio Moroder, who had done the score for Flashdance, oversaw creation of the music. The fabled MGM, original home to the likes of Clark Gable and Judy Garland, was going to release the film on more than 1,000 screens. This is the last remaining print. That was me. Oh my God. Music scenes were reshot to give them more production value. I love this movie. People connected with the movie began to talk in terms of Cinderella story and the little movie that could. That talk evaporated as soon as Heavenly Bodies opened in the midst of a howling blizzard in February 1984. Lantos phoned to report box office disaster. How was he handling this, I wondered? Well, he said ruefully, he would not be making his next movie for MGM. For me, the movie's release was complicated by the fact that, by the time it came out, I had become the movie critic for the Toronto Star, Canada's largest newspaper. Oof. remember gathering my family and the dog in front of the television set on a Friday evening. On came critic Leonard Maltin, who, in those days, was actually allowed to critique films on Entertainment Tonight. He proceeded to eviscerate Heavenly Bodies. At the end, his eyes popped with surprise. "What's more," he reported, "it turns out that one of the writers is a movie critic. Well, here's a piece of advice." He leaned towards the camera and seemed to speak to me personally. "Don't give up your day job." I looked around. Only the dog was still in the room with me. Despite my best efforts to put it behind me, Heavenly Bodies would never quite let go of me. Divorced, fed up with Toronto, and having left the Star, totally ruined, I fled to Los Angeles to finish writing a book, and in my mind at least, to make a new start. I arrived in town and settled in my apartment on North Palm Drive in Beverly Hills. Like so many others in LA, I had escaped my past. I felt calm and relaxed. I turned on the television set and, literally, this is true, there was Heavenly Bodies. I could not hide from this fucking movie. Okay, now that everyone's seated, now that everyone's ready, we have a reel of trailers. I want to remind everybody that we are here to celebrate Heavenly Bodies. We may never have a chance to see this movie again on the big screen, so that means no fucking yapping, no texting, no being a total weenie. Nobody wants to be the jerk that totally bums out the birthday boy. So otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Everyone's welcome to stick around, hang out. We're going to have a party on the back patio. We're going to have a party in here. Tuna's going to be DJing. There's going to be fun.